Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, where women share their dreams, struggles and successes, how they were able to persevere despite the fear and create the life they want and deserve. If you're looking for inspiration to move you past where you normally would stop, then this is the show for you. Here's your host, Melissa Banks.
I'm Cyrus Webb, filling in for Melissa Banks today. Glad you all could join us for this week's episode of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm filling in because Melissa Banks is actually the guest this week. We're excited to talk to Melissa, not only, of course, about this show and what it's been like for her to see the response to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, but also all the things she's been able to do in 2021, including releasing her first book. She has a new business show that she's doing on Instagram called the Melissa Banks Show, and she's gearing up for a big virtual conference for 2022 that you all can be a part of called Imagine the Possibilities. Melissa, hello to you.
Hello, Cyrus. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So I have to ask you, how does it feel to be a guest on your own show?
It's a little different on this side. Wow.
I can imagine. It always is for me as well. Well, Melissa, I want to begin by, first of all, saying, as the co-executive producer of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, how excited and happy I am for you and what you've been able to do with this platform and the guests you've been able to have, the special segments you've been able to have. What has it been like for you to see the way that this show and your brand has grown?
It has been an amazing experience, and it's an experience I didn't really know what it would be and how it would impact me. But as I talk to these women, and we have some amazing women out there doing a lot of really great things, and talking to them causes you to grow yourself, and I didn't expect that part, but just hearing their stories and hearing how they pushed through lots of struggles that would make a lot of people stop in their tracks, but they kept going and still going. And I just think this show just encourages me and everyone who listens to just keep pushing. It happens, you know. So it's been a wonderful experience, and it continues to grow. I've met some amazing ladies, so it's just been wonderful for me.
And not only that, with the show Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, you also, as I mentioned, released your first book, the devotional Dream by Design. How did that feel this year to add author to your name?
You know, that seems like a dream. I tell people when I say author or when I write author behind my name, I wonder, who am I talking about? That's something that happens. That happens is just beyond what I could have dreamed. That was not any of my thoughts that had never occurred to me that would be possible. And every single time, and I tell you this honestly, every single time I see that cover or I say that word author and my name follows it gives me this out-of-body experience, this excitement, even right now as long as it's been out. I'm just so grateful for that opportunity.
Well, I know there's more to come, including your own autobiography. We look forward to that as we get ready to go into a new year. And you have another thing that's coming up, of course, for 2022. Melissa, one of the reasons why we're having today's special episode of Dream by Design, you have a virtual conference that's going to be coming up. But I want to talk about the new show on Instagram. You have been building this platform here with the radio show. You have a show that's on iHeartRadio. It's on Amazon Music. It's on Spotify. I mean, I have to ask you about that experience. I mean, you are someone who people have gotten to know as a master event planner, as an entrepreneur. How does that feel now to have built this online platform where people can literally listen to you around the world?
You know, it's really exciting to think that, you know, this little girl from a small community in Mississippi, being raised by a single mom with a lot of siblings right here in town, can actually hear my voice. People can hear my voice and care about what I have to say around the world. I never, growing up, I never thought that would be something that would happen to somebody, to me. So the experience is amazing, and every single time I hear it or someone stops me and says something about the show, it's just an amazing experience, and it just shows what God can do. And it shows, I talk about this all the time, of course, and it shows what happens when you keep pushing and you keep going and you just don't quit.
Right. Then we came together to start a show, an on-camera show this year. Also, the Melissa Banks Show on Instagram. Of course, I hadn't even told you, but people are going to start being able to see it in other places. coming up here real soon. And something else you don't know, Melissa, is WYAD has asked about carrying the show on the radio. So it's a show that now is in its second week at the time we're doing this broadcast. I want to talk about that because when we came up with the idea for the Melissa Banks Show, is really a twofold thing. One, to be able to answer questions and to share inspiration for business and life, but also to be able to elevate your own gifts, Melissa, and what you're able to do, and when it comes to consulting and helping other people be able to do things in their lives personally and professionally. I want to talk about what that's been like for you to embrace, the fact that you are looked at as an authority in your industry, someone that can help others. How has that been for you to be able to sit with?
You know, I was thinking about this really after yesterday's show, that when I was sharing some tips with the audience, and I can remember, Cyrus, when I started my event planning journey, I walked into a local business, someone who had been in business for about 30 years, very successful business, and I saw a certification on her wall, and I asked her, how did you get an event planning certification? And she looked me in the eye and said, you know what, I had to figure it out the hard way, and so do you. So at that moment, I left her, and I started my research and started trying to put together my journey. I didn't know what it was, but I also made a commitment that when I was able to, in every opportunity I had to share what I had learned with others, I would do that. So yesterday, that's 20 years ago, mind you, but yesterday when we were talking about how to get set up and places to go, that just put me back in that place where she wasn't willing to share information. And I'm just excited that the opportunity is here. We have a platform that I can use some of my mistakes, some of the things that I was successful at, and help someone else get started without being so overwhelmed that they want to throw their hands up. So I'm so grateful for the experiences. And it's still, you know, I've been doing this for over 20 years, so I'm excited to share some of the things that worked that I did, some of the things that didn't work, and then to have a place that people can go to ask questions and not just have to figure it out on their own.
Yeah, I think that's it, and I think that says a lot about you, Melissa, and that's one of the things people appreciate about you, and something I try to emulate myself is to try to be someone who can pour into others, can encourage others, and inform others so that they can. Then, of course, it's up to them what they choose to do at that particular point, but not being someone who holds information. So we talked about the year that's been 2021 when it comes to the Melissa Banks shows premiering this year, also the success of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, the radio program, and then, of course, you're releasing a book. But you're already looking forward to 2022, Melissa, and you came up with the idea for this virtual conference. I want to talk about that because, you know, virtual events was something that is new to you, in a sense, when it comes to the pandemic. Talk to us about when you made the decision that virtual events were going to stay a part of your business and brand.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, virtual events was something that was new to me, not as a guest, but not as a planner, as a source of producing amazing events. So the pandemic hit. One of the keys to being a successful business owner is being able to pivot when necessary. So when the pandemic hit, my business really was not set up for anything other than face-to-face events. So I had to learn new skills. I had to be willing to learn something new, willing to kind of change direction. And that's where virtual events came to be. In a conference I was in, and I started the research, got skills, and started producing some events and realized virtual events are amazing. You don't have to give up the experience because for me, it's about the experience that the guests have. You don't have to give that up. You just have to be creative in how you produce it, engage the audience. And one of the things about Dream by Design is our passion to push women to believe in themselves and to move past where they are. And when I started thinking of this and how many women we could reach in a virtual environment, that's the benefit to virtual, right? Is you don't have to have a venue for 100 people. You have the world. The world can get that information. The number of women that we could push forward with this conference is amazing. And I just think we got some dynamic speakers coming. And it's that woman that's just scared to move forward that will be in that audience, hear something, and they push them to go for their dreams, push them to believe in themselves. And that's what this conference is about. You know, we have a lot of different platforms that we talk about Dream by Design, but this is bringing women together in one environment, one group, and giving them some resources. We're going to give some resources and some tools, and we're going to push them. We're going to bring some dynamic women. One of the main things in my growth over the last 2 years is really hearing the stories of some amazing women and helping me push, and as I push, I wanted to push other women along the way. And that's what that conference is about, the speakers, the training, the tools, and just coming together as women and growing and pushing past where you normally would stop. That's what happens to us oftentimes is we get to a certain point, and then we stop right there. And then but have the resources to push you a little bit further, and that's what that conference is. It's bringing us together. And then you don't have to get out. We don't have to limit with our zip code, right? So bringing everybody together in that virtual environment was just, once that idea came, it just was part of my soul, and I knew it was something that was supposed to happen. So I'm so excited for 2022 and the Imagine the Possibilities Conference.
And it's a great way for people to start planning now. We're going to talk about that more. Melissa, I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you are listening to a special episode of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm not Melissa Banks, but our guest is Melissa Banks. We're talking to Melissa about the year that's been 2021 for her, what it's been like for her to do a lot of amazing things, but already gearing up for 2022 and how you all can get involved. Let's go ahead and let's address something that I think is so important, Melissa, and is not talked about enough, and I'm known for going there when it comes to some topics, and that is the enemy that we face when it comes to procrastination. There are so many people that are all about waiting, and I feel like people were waiting during the pandemic and lost. People have been waiting throughout this year and lost. And now that they're looking forward to 2022, what do you want them to know who have been just kind of sitting on the sidelines, not really doing what they know they're supposed to be doing in their business, know what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to growing? What do you want them to know about the importance of acting now?
Well, the thing is that you can sit there. This is what I would say to you. You can sit there, you can make your list, you can have your ideas, and you can sit there on them. But I'm going to tell you right now, as long as you're sitting there on them, sitting there looking at them, not taking action, they're not going to happen. Action is what propels you to success. If you want to move forward, and believing in yourself is not enough. You have to believe in yourself and then move to action. I oftentimes use an example, Cyrus, is baking cakes. My mom is famous for her homemade cakes, right? She gets all the ingredients out and she sets them on the counter. And she has this thing, is she lets everything get to room temperature before she starts baking her cake. She says that's the key. It has to sit there for a certain length of time before she starts working with it. So what if she decided, I got all my ingredients, I'm going to put it all on the counter, and then she stops? The cake is not going to get baked because she got the ingredients together and set them on the counter. She has to move into action and actually mix those ingredients up and put the cake in the oven to get the cake. The same with your dream and your goals and your vision. If you just write them down, I believe in vision boards, I do. And I tell everybody that a vision board will push you. But you can't stop with putting the pictures and the ideas on the vision board. You can't stop with signing up for conferences but not participating and not moving to action. It's the action that's going to move you. So make the decision that you want your dream to happen, write your goals and vision, and then move to action. And that's the important part of Imagine the Possibilities, Cyrus, is we don't want to just excite you. We want to move you to action to create the dream that you want.
Yeah. I think that's it. And I think that is the great reminder for us all that you have to, if you say success is what you want, if you want to make 2022 your year, it all begins with the action, for sure. And I think, too, it's very easy for us, Melissa, I think, to say, well, you know what? People will say, what if this doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen, right? And the thing is, we don't know, but we'll never know unless we act. I mean, you didn't know if you started a radio show if you could get a guest. You didn't know if you wrote a book if people would get it. But you've seen that, right? You've seen that pay off.
Mm-hmm.
How is that though reinforced for you the importance of the decision, Melissa, but also empowered you knowing what has happened already?
Oh wow! What it's done for me is to see it happen. It shows you what action takes. You know, I have a room in my house that I have vision board after vision board after vision board over on the wall in this particular room. And I look at those and I see some things that just didn't happen. Some of the things that I did try, they didn't happen. But what if I had stopped right there? What if I had stopped 20 years ago when it was really tough to even get started in the event industry in my area for me? What if I stopped right there? Then I wouldn't have never seen the book happen. I wouldn't have seen this platform we're on right now. I wouldn't have seen that happen because I wouldn't have kept going. I wouldn't have seen the opportunity to talk to amazing women and inspire and encourage them to keep going, to hear their struggles. So even though I set the vision boards and I had ideas at the time, the things that are happening now was not part of that. But because the action and I kept going, even when it didn't look good, I kept going. That gave the opportunity for what's happening now. You see, at any point that you quit because something is not working, or Cyrus, we haven't talked about this in a while, or because you're looking at someone else and what their story looked like, what their journey looked like, those things stop you in your track, right? I'm an event planner. I do things a whole lot different than a lot of the event planners in my area. So if I just looked at them and limited myself to what they were doing and, I'm not doing what they're doing, so I'm going to stop right here, none of these other things would happen. So I would say, the things that are happening now are happening because even in spite of the struggles, in spite of the circumstances, I kept going to get to where I am now.
Yeah. And there's no plan to stop now. So let's get more into Imagine the Possibilities. Let's give our audience the rundown here. We've already said it's 2022. Melissa, when exactly is the virtual conference happening? From what times? And let our audience know a little bit about how they can be able to go ahead and sign up.
Okay, great. I'm so excited about this, Imagine the Possibilities. When I say those words, Cyrus, I just get excited, and I know that anyone who makes the decision that 2022 is going to be the year that changes for them, this conference is definitely for you. The conference is January 29th, 2022, and it starts at 10 o'clock. It is a virtual experience. We have speakers lined up that will assist you in pushing forward, give you some tools and resources, and motivate and encourage you to action. To purchase your ticket, you can go to themelissabanks.com. The first link you see will be get your conference ticket. Click right there. The investment is just $97. It's a full day of speakers. We're there till 4 o'clock, and we have some great speakers lined up for you.
Right. And again, we're going to be giving that website out here a bit again. I want to mention one other thing, though, about the conference, because I think this is an important thing to mention as well. Melissa, you're giving even a platform during the conference, so people could actually be able to share their own businesses during the conference. How is that being possible through this virtual event?
Oh, great. That's great that you asked that question. One of the things that I also feel passionate about is giving exposure to businesses, giving them opportunities to talk about their businesses, showcase their businesses. And I wanted to incorporate that in our virtual conference. So you have two options. If you're already running the business, you want to get your business seen, you can actually have a commercial during the conference. We're working with a graphic designer that can produce the commercials for you. That you can have that opportunity to do a commercial. That fee is $125, and you can get that right there on that link when you go to that link. Another opportunity is, are you ready to be on camera live, talking about your business, talking about your dream? We will give you an opportunity to do that as well. You can come onto camera just for $79 to talk about your business, to talk about your dreams, to use that time to get in front of an audience that you would normally be able to get in front of so that people can hear about your business. You can target your audience right there at our conference.
Love that. Love that. Great opportunity again, bringing that in-person feel to a virtual event, because we're used to seeing that at in-person events where people are able to talk about, their vendor table they have set up in the room, and now people are able to get that same experience in a virtual event as well, which is a really cool thing. Again, everyone, a great opportunity for you to be able to start the new year off right. And I think the other thing that we don't talk enough about, Melissa, is it's a great way also to network, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You're absolutely right. We don't talk a lot about that. But just think about how many people will be on that platform. I signed up for a conference at the beginning of the year last year, and I met hundreds of event planners from all over the world. We are still connected right now. Connections matter. Building relationships matter. And who you have around you, who you talk to, matters in the success of your business. So absolutely, networking opportunity is unlimited in this environment. So it's so much there, right there, and at home. You're at home, and you're connecting with people all over the world.
Exactly. Again, everyone, Melissa Banks, she's a serial entrepreneur, the host of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. You know her also as a master event planner and an individual who's gearing up for some big things, including in 2022, the Imagine the Possibilities virtual conference. So we're going to give those details out one more time, Melissa, here. Again, tell them the when and how they can be able to get their ticket.
Okay, great. The event is January 29th, 2022. You can get your tickets by going to themelissabanks.com. You can get your general admission ticket for just $97 investment, or you can invest in your business by a commercial opportunity for $125 and the on live in front of the camera opportunity for $79. You can get all of that right there at themelissabanks.com.
All right, Melissa, congratulations to you on another successful year. So glad to call you not only a colleague and also a friend, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
I'm excited. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. You have a good day.
Hey, you as well. And we want to thank you, our audience, for tuning into this week's episode of Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. Melissa Banks will be back with you guys next time for another great episode, bringing you all some great entrepreneurs who continue to be able to push forward in spite of the difficulties and circumstances that they face. Until then, I'm Cyrus Webb saying you all make it a great one. We'll talk soon. Take care.